Doom Nation, what's up? We are back with another Doomed review, and we are joined with Shayne once
Hello.
again. Say what's up, guys.
Hi.
Our Marvel expert.
Yes, yes. So today we are reviewing Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Pretty good job of the pronunciation, I have to say. Yeah.
Can't spell it worth my life, but I'm good.
Can say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah. Well, we got one character down. Let's see how many other characters I butcher.
Yeah, I don't really remember all the characters' names
Just
that well in this one.
The only one that
Sean,
yeah,
Katie.
That's it for me. That's all I remember.
Yai Ling is the sister, and Talo is the name of the village.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this one was interesting. Came out. This is Sunday, so it came out on Friday. This was kind of cool because it was a new, we've had a lot of Marvel movies that are continuations lately of just storylines that have been established.
Yep.
So this was cool because it was a new story, a new origin story almost, which we haven't had a Marvel, I think, in a while.
Had an origin story since
Captain Marvel.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So this is the first one in a while, which I kind of enjoyed. So what do you guys think?
I was just happy to watch a Marvel movie in theaters again.
Yes. All right. Let me start there real quick. Right. This was the first movie in general I have watched in a movie theater in 2 years, basically.
Since communism took over.
Yes. And
this is my second, but
okay. But let me tell you, we went back to Black Widow and we did a was it worth it thing. That was definitely worth it, Black Widow, to pay on Disney Plus.
Love to see it
yeah, but boy, I spent about $70 on this movie in terms of the price on my tickets cost about $65. I told you, Cap, I got popcorn and a small popcorn and a small soda was $17.95. I ate every single kernel of that popcorn.
That's why you sneak Taco Bell into the movies.
Dude, I went. I saw it with Jerry. We got IMAX, $20 a ticket. Then who we were with, I got two of the big waters, a small little box of candy, and the large bag of popcorn. It came out to like $35.
Wow.
Yeah. So
movies
it was like
are
a $75 trip. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I
that's why it's like date night. Listen.
Yes.
Spend the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I prefer if they keep putting them out on Disney Plus. We could watch that way. We save a lot of money.
Yeah, but I like the theater experience of Marvel, and I can see everything else.
Yeah,
on
that's
TV
also because
now.
your boyfriend's probably paying for it. So
we split it.
All right, fine.
I'm split. I agree with Scagz. That's really gotten out of control, and it'd just be easier to stay home. But with Shayne, I love the movies. This is something that throughout COVID that I really missed that we lost, and it felt so good to be back eating just a giant bag of popcorn and feeling like crap afterwards. It just it's too good.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I enjoyed going.
You do the movie thing for
a date night,
movie that you need to see right away. Whereas there's so many things that are coming out on HBO Max and all these other things that I'm willing to stay home for that one. But this one I need to see in theaters.
Yeah. So basically, Disney has a monopoly on the movie theater industry now, because those are the only real ones I think we're probably gonna have to go see.
Yeah.
Because we like Marvel so much.
Yeah. When me and Jerry were watching the coming attractions, a few of them, they were like, "Oh, that looks good," but
West Side Story.
I'll wait for HBO Go to show that one.
Even me personally, it was a lot of money. I'd spend the money on a Marvel movie. But I don't know if I'd spend this on going to see Aquaman 2 or something like that. I don't think Aquaman 2 is worth $70.
Comedy.
For me, it's Marvel horror.
Fair enough.
I need to see this one.
Oh, so if a new Jason
Spiral,
or Freddy Krueger.
Spiral just came out. It's an extension of the Saw movies. And that was the first movie I saw in theaters. And I was like, yes, I've been waiting for this. So it depends on the movie.
So there's our little movie theater review. Return to movie theater review. So let's get into Shang-Chi, though. What did you guys think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was, and I couldn't look away for a minute. I was just had to see everything. I keep hitting everything.
Yeah, it's all right. You get some static there.
Yeah.
You got
For being the comic book buff, I mean, I'm no expert in the history of comic books, but I have a deep knowledge. For a hero I never really knew about, really didn't know anything about, this was a good movie. And I had no reference points, you know what I mean? Like, because with all the other heroes, everybody, knows who Captain America is, but catching all the Easter eggs and stuff like that was much easier. This was just a straight up good movie.
It was, like I said, I enjoyed the fact that it was an origin film,
Yeah.
which we haven't had in a while. I did really like it too. I don't know anything about Shang-Chi, but I don't really know much from the comic books about any of these characters. I don't really read them.
I knew of like most of the like Avengers.
Yeah,
from, like,
him I
being,
didn't
like,
know.
just a kid, but there's so many more that
Right.
Well,
one thing I really liked about this was I'm a big fan of authenticity in terms of movies that have to do with culture.
Mhm.
And I love when a movie, so like this was somewhat about Chinese culture. And I loved that it felt authentic because they spoke Chinese a lot in the movie and put it in subtitles. And for whatever reason, to me, when like you have a cultural piece and they speak only English because it's targeted at American people, it cheapens it a bit. This,
Right.
I felt, movie had the perfect balance of, well, they do speak English and they do speak Chinese, but they didn't just like railroad the whole thing by speaking only English the entire time. When it made sense when they spoke Chinese, and it made sense when they spoke English for the most part.
Yeah, because it was mostly like really the only times I feel they spoke English was anything involving Katie, because she was the one Chinese girl that did not know Chinese.
Yeah, but there was that little plot hole too, because like she didn't understand Chinese, and then the second she was in Tao Lao working with her trainer, she understood Chinese.
Well, no, she didn't say she didn't understand Chinese. She just said, I think she said it was her Chinese was not great or was rusty or something.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
her grandma and her mom
they
spoke Chinese, so she knows it. She's like most kids; their parents know it, but they don't know it.
Yeah, just a spoiler warning. We're going to go deep in this one. I have a feeling because there's a lot of stuff that has to do with the rest of Marvel.
So much.
You know what I thought was really cool too about this whole movie? It had a very like Mortal Kombat, like those, like kung fu sort of like films with like the fighting scenes.
Yeah,
the fighting scenes were great. Like on the side of the building, when
the bus, the out of nowhere on the bus. I think that
awesome.
The first fight scene was what really drew me in, because like here it is, it's these two friends that are just partying in their their late 20s, early 30s, whatever the hell it is. And because like their friends were like, well, after law school I kind of grew up, maybe you should too.
Yeah.
And like here they are on a bus getting into a gang fight that now is going viral, and now you become a superhero. That first fight was fantastic, I think, on the bus.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a little Mortal Kombat-ish, because they're, like the guy with the knife out of his arm, the other dude, his father's right-hand man with the mask. And the training montage as a kid was cool too.
Yeah, that was all cool. I'm gonna say too, man, the guy who plays Shang-Chi, his name is Simu Liu. He's a brick shithouse, man. He's like he looks the part, like he's big and strong.
Yeah. Every time an Avenger shows up in their first movie, they always have the shirtless scene.
Yeah,
every single Avenger, Thor, Captain America, Ant-Man. Who else had it?
All of them.
It makes sense though. I always felt like a superhero the actor needs to look the part of a superhero. Like one of my biggest criticisms of the Flash TV show was Grant Gustin was way too skinny to be the Flash. You need to be strong. You're a superhero with superpowers, So I thought that he looked the part of a superhero.
So it's been coming up. The actor Simu Liu had tweeted at Marvel about if they ever do a Shang-Chi, can he do it? And literally then they tweeted back at him, or he retweeted it just like last week and was like, thanks.
Okay. There you go.
Funny enough, Keanu Reeves has been talking up Marvel, saying he wants to play the Ghost Rider. And on Keanu Reeves' birthday, I believe Marvel tweeted like, happy birthday, Keanu. Hope you get a nice big present and everything else you want.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Add him in there. He's a good actor.
I want to say like Awkwafina played Katie, and I mostly know her from like MTV's Girl Code as like a comedian.
Yeah.
So I was think this is the first movie I've seen with her in it, and I think she did a great job.
I thought she did too. I don't really know anything about her. I thought she was very funny though, and her voice is funny. It's like a little bit of like a cigarette smoker or something like that. So she has that going for her.
Like
that
I think she was on
so funny.
I think she was on Crazy Rich Asians as well. But
and I think she was in the newer Ocean's 8
okay,
something. Yeah. But this is the first time I've actually seen her act in something. And I was actually like super impressed.
Yeah, I never watched her. She has a show, Aquafina something.
I think it's a. Is her name really Aquafina, or did she change her name to Aquafina?
She changed it to that.
Okay, stage name. Okay.
Named it after a water bottle.
Yeah, at the end of I don't know her, so at the credits when I saw Aquafina, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But okay, makes sense now.
She played a good part though. She was a very good comic relief.
Yeah, definitely. Which Marvel needs. They need that little lighthearted tone to all the dark parts of the movie.
And then I am a very big user of IMDb. I had to know like where everybody was from before, because I was like, I don't know who any of these people are. A lot of them are very small actors. Even Shang himself doesn't have a lot of credits. He has like an TV episode here, TV episode there. Mm-hmm. This is like his first like big thing, in my opinion. But most of the actors themselves are in a lot of like kung fu movies.
Or that's their wheelhouse, probably.
Yeah, and then the aunt. Like their aunt is from like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
She's a famous big actor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The aunt from Ta Lo. Yeah. So I like when they do stuff like this though, when they cast a not too famous actor in a brand new role, because I know you said before Keanu Reeves to be Ghost Rider. I mean, that'd be cool, but you also that's Keanu Reeves. Like you're gonna look at him and know like this is Keanu Reeves. Now with what's his name here, Simu Liu. Now he's going to be synonymous with Shang-Chi, not some other movie that he was already famous for.
Well, that
makes it feel a little bit more authentic that he is Shang-Chi. Now.
Yeah,
that's Marvel's golden ticket where DC keeps failing.
Yes,
you get a good story and you put a smaller name in the role, because that's why Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. were able to sign on for 10 years.
Right.
You're never going to get Ben Affleck and Will Smith to dedicate the next 10 years of their career. They don't need to.
At the same time, too, like I said, they're so big, they transcend the role at the same time, making it, at least in my opinion, feel a little bit less authentic. With this now, I look at this guy and I'm like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look at what Robert Downey Jr. has done for Tony Stark. Like any cartoon, any comic book in the past 10 years, it's no longer Robert Downey Jr. is inspired by Tony Stark. They get the inspiration from Robert Downey Jr. to draw Tony Stark.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, like looking at this movie, it's very like smaller actors or just like not as commonly used actors. Then you look at the commercial or preview for The Eternals. That's a lot of big name actors in that movie.
That is true. We'll see how that
goes. I saw that it had Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek,
Richard Madden,
Kit
Harington is in there. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but you got to think though, Rob Stark and Kit. I don't remember Rob Stark's real name.
Richard Madden.
Okay, there you go. And Kit Harington. They right now are in an interesting place because usually like actors after like a big role in a long-standing TV series, they don't do much. A lot of the cast of Friends never went anywhere. The Big Bang Theory, a lot of those guys you never see anymore. So they might have lucked out by getting a Marvel role, because they might have not found something they liked for a long time, or everybody still just knows them. Oh, you're Jon Snow, so I'm not going to put you in this movie.
Yes, I was just going to say that those guys, let's just use Kit Harington and Richard Madden. They were a little bit kind of typecasted, like that, like that medieval dark role is kind of their role. So I feel like they are going to fit in well for Eternals, especially Kit. His character, which we won't really get into much, is basically Jon Snow in the Marvel universe in a way. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Let's stay on topic with Shang-Chi. We keep going off to other things. One thing I liked about the movie, it was a family drama too.
Yeah.
Of the daughter, the father, the mother, and the son. I really liked I think the opening sequence when the father was like fight dancing with the mother. I thought that was pretty well done, and like it was like a dance musical, but it was a fight. I thought it was they blended dancing, fighting, like love all together. The choreography, there you go, perfect way to put it. Was
the fight choreography was great,
amazing. Yeah.
One thing that I really loved in this movie the actual power of the 10 rings is a fantastic power to have.
Yes.
You could use it any way you could imagine it to. You could tie someone up with it, super punches, super jumps, blocks. Like, I mean, even the way we'll get to how, like, you know, the hero saves the day by using them. I just thought it was such a great superpower to have.
It was pretty cool.
And it just shows that like you can keep the power when you need it, put it away, but the dad himself just abused all of that power.
Yeah, well, he was the warrior king. He was corrupted long time ago with power.
I liked how they showed he's been doing that for thousands of years. So they showed like the historical piece of him in like like feudal China. That was pretty cool. Using that power. That was all pretty awesome.
I like too how like his army has been like updated.
Yes,
they were like training with the hook swords, and now they got like the electric hook swords, like the modern day ones. I thought that was very cool the way they did.
I liked the sister also. She was pretty badass, and her like I don't know what it was, but when she hit people, like it was a hard hit. Like when she hit people, like there was a little something extra
good, like,
in there. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The only
character.
Yeah, I did too. And especially like for where it might be going with her character. The only character that really let me down was the father's right-hand man.
Razor Fist.
Yeah. I guess that's no. The guy with the kabuki mask that was training. Cool. Yeah, he looked cool, didn't say a single word, don't know who he is, and then died.
Yes. Definitely.
Like, I think they did that to show that their army is no strength for what was behind the gate.
Yeah.
And I think it was to show like these things are going to defeat your strongest warrior.
Interesting.
But like leading up to the movie and like the toys and the trailers and stuff, like this was like the badass bad guy. You know what I mean? Like that's who they focused on a big part of like the trailers, like the fight scene between him and Shang-Chi. And it was really just that one fight. That was a little disappointing, but that was also another good fight.
Yeah, it was.
Right before his father showed up. Ooh,
everything within that like building on the scaffolding was amazing.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual, what was it, Golden Dagger Club, Fight Club or whatever.
Yeah, let's get into that, definitely.
That was so good. There was a couple of Easter eggs. One of the guys that was very caught on the corner. So remember the power that in Iron Man 3 that they were trying, that like regenerative burning power?
I just watched Iron Man 3 last night to add something to this. So go ahead. Yeah.
So one of the smaller fighters had a very similar, like when he got hit, like he had that orange glow burning. Like
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So he had a very similar power from the Mandarin, which was great when they were making fun of him. And it was great that the actor was back in.
Ben Kingsley.
I missed the that little where they broke him out of prison. I don't know where that exactly was. There was a short or something of how they got him out of prison before Shang-Chi. But Wu fighting Abomination was fantastic. And what a great way to beat him.
Yeah, it was. So I have a question because I didn't really watch that movie. Abomination obviously was the Hulk's enemy, villain. And when Wong opened the portal and they like left, it seemed like him and Abomination are buddy, and they went back. There was like you could see like a room or something in the background. What was that?
It looked like a training ring, like an MMA like octagon.
Okay.
So I think he was like, we're gonna go practice your training.
I see. So they're basically
I get.
So Abomination like is nice now, and
I was having a conversation with like my stepdad about it because he was like, I'm kind of disappointed in how they like depicted Abomination because they made it seem like he's weak and like friendly. And I was like, well, if we don't know how long, because Wong can just travel through portals, he could have been just going for the Fight Club often. So they might
it's also been so many years since then, right? Since that whole movie. I mean, so maybe he's changed. Who knows?
That too. When I was with Jerry, he had a theory that maybe the timeline already broke and we are watching the first Marvel movie in the new timeline. And
No,
Abomination.
That's too much misdirection without telling you. No, I don't.
Why
think
not?
So.
Abomination's, good. And there's another one when we get into the after credit scenes that I'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll save that for the end.
I don't know about the timeline thing in that situation because this is supposed to be the first movie to lead up to that.
Yeah.
So I don't, unless, I feel like they also wouldn't have released it so close to the end of Loki just because maybe not everybody watches the shows.
Yeah, this is what
I'm not calling it out of the realm of possibility.
I feel like the movies are going to depict the destruction of time specifically when we get to Spider-Man, because most people are probably not watching the shows and they need a movie to explain also what's happening, and then they could bring the show information.
Here's the way I put it, right? All the movies are happening within Loki's original timeline, of which we saw him go out through the show. They're not going to just randomly, because of what you said, maybe somebody didn't watch the show, so they're not going to just randomly put the movie in one of the branch timelines because someone might not even know that happened. As the movies progress, they can incorporate, obviously they're going to incorporate Kang and some of that stuff, and it'll be explained in its own way throughout the movies. For them to just be like, this is in another universe, in one of the branch timelines would be like, it just wouldn't make sense narratively to tell the story that way. You see, they did What If, right? But look at it this way: What If is within the branch timelines, but they've showed you, they've already established that this is within, these are alternate universes, so that you're not confused and believing this is some other random thing. I mean, it's a good theory and you can theorize whatever you want, but I just narratively, storytelling wise, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. You got an next point.
No, so I think that fight scene between Wong and Abomination were great. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of Wong as well.
Yes.
I
Someone
actually
said that he's going to be the next what was the guy's name? There's people saying Wong is going to be like the next
Sorcerer Supreme.
No. The guy from the Avengers, Agent Paulson, right?
Oh, okay.
They're like he's like filling that role now.
He's going to bring together the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I can see that.
That'd be cool. I'm not,
because we are kind of seeing the next team being assembled little by little. I do think.
Well, so I mean, if we put together what we know already, then so we know Doctor Strange has a link to Shang-Chi. We know Doctor Strange has a link to Spider-Man. And then with the end credit scenes, we know he has a link to two other heroes. So it's very possible that obviously we know Doctor Strange is this focal point, just like Nick Fury was. So I think comparing him to Smith Agent.
No, I was comparing Wong to Paulson. Yeah, but you're comparing Strange maybe to Nick Fury in a way.
Yeah, and then Wong would be his Coulson.
Right, Coulson.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think that's a great comparison actually to get the
who do you guys think
together.
The roster of the new Avengers team is going to be? I have my idea on who it's going to be. What do you guys think?
I really don't know much past this point, so I really can't. I just know what I've seen, and from what I've seen, Wanda is not going to be an Avenger. I feel like Wanda somehow is going to turn into a villain, sadly.
Okay.
And then Loki is also not going to be an Avenger, obviously.
Oh no, I think Loki is going to be an Avenger.
Do you?
Yes. I think he is going to be an Avenger because they've, put him through the massive redemption arc. Why do you put somebody? Are they going to Jamie Lannister him and put him through the redemption arc and then just throw it away again? I don't think so.
Who knows? I don't know who would be in the new Avengers. I mean, we're getting the Captain America 4, and it's going to be Anthony Mackie. So we have him. We're going to still have Sebastian as the Winter Soldier. Thor is still around, but I think a lot's going to change in the Thor Love and Thunder, whatever it is.
Get Lady Thor.
Yeah. They keep talking about Ironheart, so I don't know where they're going to bring in.
That's far out, though.
Iron Man. Obviously Spider-Man. So I think it's going to be a small core group. I think we're going to see a similar playbook to the lead up to the original Avengers, where it's going to be like the original 5, and then it grows again to whatever the biggest problem of the universe is going to be.
We're also getting Miss Marvel We're getting Miss America, I think it is.
Oh boy.
It's just going to be an all-female Avengers cast, basically.
Yeah,
We
I know
got Ironheart, Lady Thor.
There's a lot of them coming up, and then we also have the Young Avengers coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. There's so many ways it could go.
I think the first iteration is going to be obviously Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Loki, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Captain Marvel and the Hulk again. I think that's going to be somewhat of the first iteration, but it will evolve as it did throughout the rest of the Avengers movies, the first three.
Yeah.
Let's get into
while we were still on the fight thing, I love the fight between him and his sister when that's the first time they've seen each other in like 10 years.
She whoops his ass. Yeah.
Yeah. She was badass, man.
Yeah.
I liked her.
She trained herself, man.
Yeah.
She said
that
it.
was
She's
the
like,
part that I loved is like her brother was being forced to train like against his will. And she saw it and was like, well, screw it. I'm going to do it myself, and completely trained herself because her father would not let her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made her stronger in a way. Like I said, every time she hit somebody, it was really hard. So it was like there was a little extra, there was a little extra behind every punch or kick that she threw. Yeah. I like that. One thing I thought was a little bit, let me give a detraction here. When they got to Talo and they were driving through, some of the creatures there look way too much like Pokemon.
They were Pokemon.
Oh my God, I had the exact same thing.
And Morris, I loved the little flying pig thing. I want a Morris, without a doubt. He was cute. The legendary dragon that was cool because that didn't look like a Pokemon for the most part.
Yeah,
it looked. I don't know anything about Chinese culture really, but I'm familiar that they're like revere the dragon in their culture, right? So that looked similar to like what I know of Chinese culture, that dragon. But when they were like driving through in the car, which was also weird, you're driving like a beamer through this magical Pokemon forest. Some of the other Pokemon like look like Ninetales.
Yes, that's the one I wanted.
I literally was like, why does that look like some like ice version of Eevee? I don't know a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah.
But that was like exactly what I was picturing. And I was like, there has to be some kind of inspiration within that.
Yeah. I didn't like that some of those extras because they just look way too much like Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I agree.
More original design.
Did like I want to say it's a lion, which is
the lion
I often
dog
see
thing
depicted in a lot of Chinese like imagery. I love those because those look like what the like illustrated versions are.
Yeah, just like the dragon. I said,
yeah. So the thing I found out about the dragon, I thought that was another Marvel character, Fin Fang Foom, which is a mystical dragon in the MCU universe. But it wasn't that dragon that we saw fighting the Soul Sucker was not Fin Fang Foom. I think that was the mother.
I was literally just gonna say as I saw the scene, I think when the daughter made eye contact with the dragon, I was like, there's something there, and I feel like it's the spirit of their mother is in that dragon.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, I didn't even think
it was just the way they like made eye contact.
Gotcha.
I was like, I know like they're very like spiritual people, so it made me feel like the mother like reincarnated as like the dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, and she didn't lie to them. Basically, she said she has the heart of a dragon, or her heart is of a dragon. So when she died, she was reincarnated into a dragon.
That makes sense. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point.
I had a question for you too. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. Because it wasn't unclear. I think it was the father tricking Sean. The postcard with the dragon drawn on it. The father sent him that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I didn't really catch that. I thought maybe the mother did send it to him from like the afterlife to meet up with his sister. I don't know.
Like at first I was thinking like maybe it is the sister, like, she wants to finally speak or whatever. But when she was like, what? That's when I was like, oh, that was definitely the dad.
Yeah.
Let me now ask you guys a question. Something I'm legit confused on, especially because I went and rewatched Iron Man 3 last night because it's been years since I watched it, and I don't.
That was the worst one of the Iron Man.
It was. Yeah. So when they found the Mandarin guy, Ben Kingsley in Shang-Chi, they rehashed the fact that, and the father also rehashed this fact that. That they painted the Mandarin out to have something to do with the 10 Rings organization. And looking back at Iron Man 3, when the Mandarin's like public broadcasting terrorist videos would come up, the Ten Rings logo would show up
Yeah.
on the screen. So what exactly did the Mandarin have to really do with the Ten Rings, or was it they
Like
just
the real Mandarin that is the villain in this movie, or the Mandarin from Iron Man 3?
yeah, from both? Like what is the relation that they have with
So
each
I
other?
think
Is the father's not called Mandarin because he made a joke about how they
so.
they
He
named
No,
it
but
after
I
chicken.
well,
think
if he comes up as Mandarin when you look him up, he comes
Yeah.
up.
He does.
That's his name. He was saying he basically said like he was making fun of the fact that like people started calling him the Mandarin when all that is a chicken dish.
Okay.
Like they used it for like intimidation. So I think just the father himself has like a history, and I haven't seen Iron Man 3 in a while. Whoever like hired that actor was like, we're gonna use this guy
I
because we
see.
know he's like
A little bit of a known
he's a different
terrorist.
race, and we could like use that. I think it was kind of that. They're like, yeah, this man is passable for somebody that could be called the Mandarin.
I get
and
it.
use like the
American
imagery and
propaganda,
everything.
like
Yes.
me and you
Yeah.
normally talk about, Cap. You
Yeah.
can use someone of a different race and make them the boogeyman of for government action, which is kind of what happened in Iron Man 3 and just being watching. I was just confused of the link. I didn't realize that the father is technically the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Because he made fun of that
He
name.
was making fun of the name, but that's who he's supposed to be.
Okay, fair enough.
Within
Yeah.
the story.
So now
That's kind of the way I took it.
okay, that makes sense. Now I'm glad I was able to figure
He
that
makes
out.
a joke out of it, but kind of use like he allows them to use that moniker.
Now you said, Cap, you weren't sure how they captured Ben Kingsley's Mandarin character, right? How did that how did he come to be in the cave? Because at the end, real quick to rehash, and I just watched Iron Man 3 again, and he just gets arrested by like the FBI or whatever, and put I guess put into jail. So how did he come to be in the
I think it's called Marvel's One Shot or something on Disney Plus, and they're these Marvel shorts, and one of them I could be completely wrong because I don't know exactly where this came from, and one of them was how the soldiers of the Ten Rings broke him out of prison.
Okay, do you have any idea, Shane? I'm trying to Google it, but it's like a hard.
Yeah.
What is his Ben King's? I'm gonna Google. How did Ben Kingsley's character? What's his name's like Trevor, right, or something?
I think so.
End up in the Ten Rings. I don't know, camp. Not surprise. Let's see. While I look this up, why don't you guys give your rating for the movie before we go into like the speculation going forward?
Sure. You want to go first, Shane?
I'm gonna give it a 10. I felt like it was such a good movie. It gave you enough information into the origin of the character without making that the entire movie. Because I had no idea who Shang-Chi is, and I like the combination of putting like a kung fu spin onto all these normal action movies that we normally get. But I got to give it a 10. It was visually beautiful. Storyline was great. Had the good comedy. Had the great fight scenes. And I was just excited to see another Marvel movie in theaters.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Cap.
I'm giving it between like an 8.5 and a 9. Like we'll say like an 8.7 or something. It was a great movie for something I didn't know a lot about. The fight scenes, the cinema, the background, just I thought Tao Lao was beautiful when they were going over the history. It was like a real Wakanda vibe. You know what I mean? My two big issues is, as a fan of Marvel and these Marvel movies, I love the Easter eggs. I've said this time and time again. I always love looking for them. I had no idea where to look for it. So that kind of brings the
Is that maybe because you don't know this character as well? So
a little bit, but
there probably was more. We just didn't catch him.
Well, I mean, it would definitely change my score then. The one thing that I had a problem with was when he finally fought his father, which was a great battle scene. And I understand how his father became like mad and obsessed with like hearing the voice of his dead wife. And that's why he tried to destroy the wall and all that stuff. it was a great fight scene, but like out of nowhere, like Shang-Chi just picked up the 10 rings and was a master at using them. 5 seconds into getting this new power, he's just as good as his father, just as good as anyone who's trained 1,000 years with using them. That was my only little
bit of a plot hole.
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe that's how powerful the rings are, that it makes you know what I mean? Like, but if you could think it, they could do it. But when
Shang took the rings, they changed color too.
Yeah.
So I feel like there has to be something within the rings that senses something within you.
Yeah, I agree.
So it helps. It'll like boost you.
Definitely.
Like the dad,
if you're good and noble,
the dad can
maybe
fight probably without the rings, but the dad doesn't.
Well, they both can.
The dad doesn't know how to fight without them.
Yeah.
Shang knows how to fight without them, plus with them. So he just has that little bit of extra, I feel.
Yeah. I don't disagree. It's just that it was just this newfound power and he picked it up like nothing, you know?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah. It didn't look very practical. So I'm going to give it a 9. I thought it was a pretty solid introduction to a new character movie. My main detriment is the Pokemon. It was too much of a distraction.
Yeah.
And everything else I liked. I enjoyed it. Like I said, family drama was cool. Establishing a new character was great. I enjoyed the cultural aspect of it. Very authentic with the language differences. So it was good. All right, let's. So I found out here exactly what happened with the Mandarin, and it says that in a short, like you said, called "All Hail the King," it was a 2014 one-shot, and it interviewed basically Trevor in prison about his Iron Man 3 activities. Notably, the one-shot ended with Slattery kidnapped by an agent of the Ten Rings organization, who'd been sent to retrieve the actor by the organization's actual leader. So yes. In the end of that short, he's kidnapped by a Ten Rings guy, and that's how he ends up being.
There you go. Slowly releasing those onto Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't watch that.
One shots. So it's just like tiny little, like it's kind of like a deleted scene, and they just decided to put them out there.
So yeah, that'll be cool. So let's go now in speculation theory, which is a lot here to go to. I want to start off first before we get to the big stuff at the end scene credits. Let's talk about Tao Lo. It's similar to Kung Lung, right? Which is
very similar.
The Iron Fist's, alternate universe place. Do you think this is leading up to, the Iron Fist also becoming part of the MCU? Maybe, Danny Rand and all that stuff.
I certainly hope so.
I think Tao Lo and Kung Lung have had like a war against each other, maybe something. I was reading something about that, but there is some sort of relation between the two.
That didn't cross my mind until you said it right now. So that'd be cool to see. I think there's a lot to work with there. That's actually pretty interesting. Yeah. I had no theory.
And we'll see if they bring the Netflix guys in or if they redo that whole thing. This could be the first. This could be the first wink at that coming. Soon. Yeah.
Because I mean, I know with Spider-Man, they keep saying Matt Murdock is going to be played by the Netflix guy. And everybody wants.
I don't know those ones.
What's his name? John Bresnall for the
John Bernthal for the Punisher.
Yeah,
I think they should reuse all those actors for the roles.
I don't think there's anything wrong with those guys.
Yeah, they're all
to just bring them right in. Yeah.
So we'll see. This could be the first to look at it.
Netflix ones, right?
Yeah.
I've only seen Jessica Jones.
Watch Daredevil. It was very good.
Daredevil was fantastic, and the Punisher was really good.
Yeah, they were all pretty solid. Honestly,
yeah.
I enjoyed them. They are. I think
should be.
Yeah, check them out. All right, so that was my first speculation thing I wanted to see coming. But now let's get into the after scene credits, which I thought were crazy. Yes. And we see Wong comes out. Like I said, now he's kind of like the Coulson.
I just want to point out the comedic part of all of that. It's Shang and Katie back at a restaurant talking to the same friends about their whole adventure in China, or Tao Lo, not China. What am I saying? And like her friend starts going off, being like, "Oh, so you're just making fun of me because I have my life together and you don't," and all these things as Wong is coming out of a portal.
Yeah.
And everybody but this one girl sees it, and then they're just like, "Katie, Shang, we need you," and they leave. And that was it.
It was funny. So they go into I think it's the Doctor Strange's
home.
House.
Yeah. The I forgot the Sanctum, right?
Yeah.
The New York Sanctum, and Captain Marvel's there, Banner's there, and they're like researching looking into the rings, And
very Iron Man-ish too.
Yes.
Where they're exploring it, like opening it up.
Yes, it was like his technology. And I believe they said it's thousands of years old, much older than, anything.
Like they've been around before his dad.
Yeah.
Right. And they like didn't understand the technology or something like that. So my theory here is that those are Kang's rings, right? Or some sort of technology of He Who Remains from the future. And that's how they're older than the father, because they've been around in the future for a long time. There's some sort of technology of He Who Remains, or Kang, whatever you want to call him, because first of all, they look similar in a way to the like his tech. They were also, when they were like moving them around and whatnot, they look similar to like that. They keep using, like Iron Man did it in Infinity War, like that timeline, like representation of the timeline, and the technology is always like these like rings that are like moving around and whatnot. Yeah. So my theory is that they are actually some sort of weapon or tech of Kang's. And, he ended up going, time traveling back to the past and left them there. And that's where the father picked them up. And they're going to be extremely key in future films. Maybe
could be
Kang trying to get his weapon, one of the Kangs coming to get his weapon back, or them using it to fight him. That's maybe one of the only ways to stop him. So that's my theory, that it's his.
But they're also,
go ahead.
Sorry. They're also pointing out that there's like a homing beacon.
Yes.
Inside of it. So it's sending like a message somewhere.
Yeah, to Kang.
So,
right, because he when the new Kangs come, that Kang's gonna want his shit back. Put it that way. One of the bad ones, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. So I have a lot for that scene.
Go for it.
I think first off, they had the wrong people in the room. This wasn't space technology. This wasn't Earth technology. They should have had an Asgardian, maybe Valkyrie. Because, like Thor's hammer is like a majestic weapon, and Asgardians understand like these majestic weapons, so they might have had more to answer about it, or even if they had like Peter Dinklage, like since he created a Stormbreaker and stuff.
But that would depend,
cool.
though.
I think the reason it is them is Wong has better access to the two of them.
Yeah,
because they have like a way to communicate directly to Captain Marvel. Obviously, they just have
all of Asgard's
Bruce's
on Earth
cell phone.
True.
The Asgardians are, they're living life on their own. I don't think they want anything else to do with anything.
True. Let's put it this way, though, Cap. If my theory is correct and it's Kang's, technology or his item, that's human tech. Kang is a human on Earth from the future. Right. It's not Asgardian tech. So what would the Asgardians really know about it? Nothing.
Well, I mean,
it makes more sense that
but that's only if it follows your theory.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Yeah, but go ahead. So, if it is magic tech or like space tech, then yeah.
And then obviously they wanted Captain Marvel for the space tech because she's gonna know better.
That is true.
Bruce,
that is true.
He would know.
Yeah.
So I think they're just trying to get like a well-rounded opinion on what it could be.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think if they went a little further and had someone from Asgard, they might have been able to figure it out, maybe, but who knows? You might be right where the Asgardians don't want anything really to do with Earth anymore. But also, the one thing that I noticed, to bring back to Jerry's theory from before that this might be a different timeline, is that the Hulk made peace with Bruce Banner, and it was like Hulk Banner, where
I was going to point that out too,
where the Hulk was smart. And now this is the first time we've seen Bruce Banner back, and his arm's still messed up from using the Infinity Gauntlet. So that's why I'm wondering if there could be some difference in a timeline now, that or what happened with the Hulk and Bruce Banner. Did they split? You know what I mean? Like,
that remains to be explained, though. Definitely.
I feel like they were probably like, we're just not going to turn him to the Hulk for this 2 minutes of screen time.
Or in his show,
he's able to
think of it this way, right? Isn't there going to be She-Hulk or whatever?
Yeah.
They're going to explain.
He's in there.
You're right. So something happens, maybe him and the Hulk split for good finally, like I believe they do in the comics, or maybe him and the Hulk come back to the agreement where I'll be Banner sometimes and then I'll be Hulk sometimes. And that happened already in the part of the timeline that they're in, but it's not a separate universe, a branch reality. Like, as the Shang-Chi stuff was happening, that stuff in She-Hulk was happening at the same time, leads up to Banner at the end credit scene he's now split from the Hulk or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they're just waiting around for each movie to happen, and then their changes. Like some of these shows, movies are happening at the same time, and then you just get a moment where like you check in with the other characters and the changes have happened to them, but you haven't seen what happened to that other character yet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe
it'll all be told soon enough once we get She-Hulk and the rest of this.
Yeah.
The best part though of the end credit scene though was like, all right, you guys should go home and get some rest. And they were like, well, we could.
Yeah.
And they're at the club drunk off their ass
that was
singing
funny.
karaoke.
With Wong too, which made it even better.
That killed me. That was fucking great.
Let me tell you something that really grinded my gears, however. The second end credit scene, which was about the sister now taking over the Ten Rings organization.
Do you think she's the villain now?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, we could theorize on that, but let me make my point of what really grinded my gears is that they put the COVID mask iconography into it, and it distracted me immediately, and that was the only thing I thought of, and it at least it was the last thing in the movie.
Yeah,
the movie was over, but you cannot do that. You can't, as I said, the woke stuff and now the COVID stuff don't remind me of real life in a movie. Keep the Marvel universe in the Marvel universe. There is no COVID in the Marvel universe.
Yes.
So please do not bring COVID into the Marvel universe.
Like, I saw it and I was like, I had to think about it. I was like, this doesn't take place then, but I felt like they were able to get away with it because a lot of the times all the soldiers wear masks anyway.
Right.
So they were able to get away with it while also being like subtle that like,
But you see, that's a problem. That's why they did it, though, because it's virtue signaling this weird cult ideology like behavior around masks and COVID and whatnot. I noticed it, right? I know what you're saying. Like they got away with it kind of because they're ninjas and they wear masks. No. They did it because of COVID. And they tried to sneak it in there because ninjas wear masks. That's, I'm sorry, effing weird. Don't do that. But it would also make
more sense if everybody fighting was wearing them.
Right.
It was just
not everyone was wearing them. Only a few people were.
Right. It's just weird.
It could have been an actor thing, but you could have.
It probably was maybe because those were extras on the set. There was some sort of rule where they had to be masked or something. But did they have to like on the 10 Rings compound thing paint a huge woman wearing a COVID style mask?
Yeah.
Like they went extra with it.
It is also a thing outside of COVID to wear a mask.
Yeah.
In China. And Japan.
It's like, I know, but it's not. It doesn't.
It's not real Japan and China.
So again, that's another way.
You see my point, though, right? The fact that they
can get away.
I screamed out. Yeah.
The fact that they're trying to get away with it because of ninjas and stuff. I know what you're doing, and that's just weird. Don't do that in movies. Just leave
right away. I screamed out. I was like, and they have masks, like because it like. She's taking over, and I didn't care that it was like she had like her woman army, and because there was men too, so she finally like split and stuff.
Whatsoever. That was fine.
But I was like, oh boy, what is she doing? Just building a woke army?
Yes.
The 10 rings of wokeness. Like,
right. Yes.
Just
can't do that. Can't remind people of real life in a movie. We go there to escape, not to be reminded.
It was so interesting. Yeah, it was so interesting. Like, oh, is she the new bad guy? What's going on? Oh, they're spray painting the dojo and the compound and stuff, making it look cool and modern, just like her club was. And then you just ruined it.
Yep,
you just ruined it. Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of that, I don't believe she's going to be a villain. I think she's also going to build an army just because now she knows, there's so much more like out there maybe. And then instead of just like destroying it, she liked being in charge of that fight club. Now she can make her own fight club, but for good. Like
maybe.
So like if she's needed again, she has her own army, but she's not going to rule it the same way her dad did.
Captain, what's one of the main things we've discussed lately? You can't use the ring for good. The ring will only corrupt you, right? So yes, maybe, right? There's this theme throughout all of society and human history. It's like, when I take the ring of power, I'll use it for good. Or when I take control of the government, I'll use it for good. But it never, ever really works out that way. The only, real option or best option is to cast it into the fires of Mount Doom and get rid of it. So I do think she is going to end up being the villain of the next episode because power corrupts everybody. So
you live, you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. It's held true through so much.
Yep. All right. There's a good place to end it.
All right, cool. Doom Nation, I hope you guys enjoyed another Doomed review with our good friend Shayne. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. The subscribe button is right there at the bottom corner.
That's
yeah,
right there.
There we go.
Over there somewhere, right there.
So yeah, thank you guys. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll have another podcast coming out shortly.
Yep. Later.
Bye.
Adios.